I'm Brittany Trochet.
And I'm Tena Parker. And we are
Uniting Artists, here to collaborate, educate, and elevate. Let's talk all things film industry.
Let's do it. Join us on our journey as we highlight a uniting artist. Hey, y'all. Tena Parker here with Uniting Artist. And I have an amazing new friend here I met on the Blocks TV season 15. And I'm just going to give the mic to her real quick because she's going to tell you a little bit about the beginning of her entrepreneurial path and how it started small. And now there are no limits.
No limits at all. Hey,
Hey.
thanks for having me. Stacy Richardson, CEO of Mobi Waste. And, this just kind of, literally fell in my lap. At the time, my son was 14. He's 16 now. And a good friend called and said, your son just took this 4-wheeler that we found on the beach, rusted out, and swapped motors. He fabricated parts. He put tractor tires on it. I call it a Frankenstein 4-wheeler.
At 14?
At 14, he did all this, built it out in our barn, put it on TikTok and got 150,000 hits on TikTok, and he ended up selling it. So a friend saw it. She's an inventor, and she says, I have this crazy idea that I'm working on, and I need him to help me make it mobile. And she goes, would he want to help be part of this? And I'll put him on the patent. And I'm, as a mom, you're like, wow, somebody took interest in my kid and wants to do this crazy stuff. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. Jump in. No problem. So I'm like, oh yeah, by the way, what are we doing? What are we doing?
With your 14-year-old engineer.
Yeah, my 14-year-old kid who's, welding and doing all this stuff in the barn. And she's like, well, we're going to make a mobile device that reduces the volume of waste. And I'm like, what does that look like? And so as a mom, it was easy for me to sit and watch and say, okay, this is for not just his generation, but generations after. And how are we going to go out in the world and do this? Because when you start thinking about reducing the volume of waste, you can be in any industry. Anybody who has trash can use this, right? And so you start looking at it and you're like, it becomes very overwhelming. And I said, okay, I got to narrow this down to a couple industries. And then I got to narrow it down even more to exactly what are we going to do. And as a mom, I can get into schools. And I said, okay, we need to save schools money. We need to create an income for schools. Cause I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of getting flyers that say you need to buy tamales and buy some wrapping paper and sell cookies to your friends. I'm the parent that just says, what prize do you want? Let me write the check for it and move on. So I'm like, how can we create this for the school districts? And so I'm going to hand this back to you because I'm going to show you what reducing the volume of waste looks like.
Yeah.
So this is a 1-gallon baggie, and this is actually 13 gallons of my household trash. This is my kitchen trash can right here. So we did a 90% reduction. It's cardboard, plastic, paper. I didn't put any food in there because, I want to be able to show people what we're doing. But the device can take anything that's not hard metal, hardwood, or glass. And glass is just for safety reasons, right? So yeah, this is 13 gallons of your household trash. So this is what reduction looks like. Then if you take just plastic, so you've got 10 water bottles in this box.
Floating around in our ocean.
Exactly. Same box. Now we have 62 water bottles. So you can see 10 water bottles filled this up. 62 water bottles is not even half of this box.
Wow.
Right? So if we can reduce this with school districts or anybody, any industry, we can save a ton of money on dumpsters. So what I mean by that is you have a 4-yard dumpster, which is just a normal dumpster that you find behind any building, restaurant. It's called a 4-yard dumpster. It takes 27 55-gallon bags to fill that dumpster. Well, when you do the math with what we're doing, it would take 27 55-gallon bags reduced down to 8 of our bags. So you could actually fill that dumpster 3 times more than if you didn't reduce it.
So if people are putting their trash into those dumpsters, how would it get in and processed through the Mobi Waste?
So if you're a business or you're a school district, you would throw the bag, your 13-gallon bag, 55-gallon bag, into our unit. It grinds, eats, we like to call it eating the trash. It eats it all down. And then we have a bagging system that it goes into our bag. And then our bag self-seals and is recyclable and compostable. So you could do whatever you want. You can throw it in the trash and move on. And now you can get 3 times as much in your dumpster, right? So you don't have to have as many dumpsters. So we're cutting costs, or you don't have to have as many pickups. Like a lot of restaurants would take 7 days a week pickup, but the companies don't run on Sundays. So they get a 6-day pickup. So Sunday night, they're out of health code because now trash is sitting around the outside of the dumpster.
Yeah.
And now you've got vermin and animals and different things and bags breaking, and the health of your employees now trying to pick up these bags that have been sitting on the ground for, 24 hours. So there's a lot of things there you can do in industry by reduction. When you look at school systems, our goal is to create a wasteless school system that funds itself. Okay. Big words. What does that mean?
Yeah.
Right? Well, if we separate out the trash, now we have paper, plastic, and organics. Now we can teach kids new skills for future jobs. We can teach them how to compost. So if you took I've got a school district here locally that spends over $800,000 a year in trash pickup.
What? 800,000?
$800,000 a year.
That's a whole nother school. I think we're making
At a 40% reduction, we save them $320,000. That is 5 teacher salaries. That money needs to go back to the teachers. We need more teachers, or let's raise what we're paying them. And they're already a fairly good paid school, right? So if we take all of their organic waste from their culinary department, from they have 48 schools in their district. If we took all the organic waste out of the cafeterias, mixed it with the waste at the ag barn, all the manure from their ag barn, how much more money are we saving them in landscaping when they make their own compost? If they're spending $200,000-$300,000 a month in landscaping, 48 schools, now we're over $500,000. Now we're closer to saving them that $800,000 just by thinking outside the box a little bit and creating what we call the circular economy, where our trash is actually the next step on creating income and creating jobs.
There's going to be a day where people go, they didn't work with Mobi Waste? What were they doing with all that stuff? You know what I mean? Like, this is so futuristic, and yet why haven't we done this? And it's teaching the children about recycle, repurpose, reuse, how to create an income. They're learning skills. They're learning everything that you're basically writing the book on what we need to know and how to follow through on this to help our world.
So, we talk about, this is what we call CTE classes, Certified Technical Education, in the upper level secondary schools, right? But we really want to start at the kindergarten level, and we want to build that foundation. So what we've done is we've created Mobi Clo, and it's K through 4, and we've launched beta testing in 2 schools this year. So we're super excited about it. But it's all about storytelling and teaching kids to start thinking out of the box and be creative thinkers. And what does the future look like? How can you take normal trash and turn it into something else? You have people paving roads, making concrete, all of this out of trash. You have the repurposed plastic industry was $62 billion in 2023. And by 2030, it's going to be $162 billion. And all people are doing is melting plastic and creating new items with recycled plastic. You can do all of that in welding class and in wood shop. You need no new skills. You need no new equipment. All you need is a new medium that you're not paying. You've already paid for.
Yeah. No more landfills. We're going to recycle, repurpose, reuse.
Exactly.
Wait, I can't wait till you tell them about what the kids are doing with that.
So here is an example of how you can take, little kids, right? You could take K through 4th or 5th, 6th grade. This is an artist friend of mine created this, and it is a fish in the ocean.
So beautiful.
Made out of plastic that we ground down, and I mailed it to her, and this is what I got in return. And it's just a gorgeous piece of art.
Yeah.
And so what we've done is I've given the 2 schools that are beta testing massive canvases. They're 4 foot by 5 feet, and they're going to create their mascot out of plastic. So we haven't launched the company yet. We're in the process with the engineers getting the fine tuning done on the 55-gallon unit, but I have a smaller unit it's a beast. It's a workhorse. And so what I do is I'll go up to the schools that they've collected all the plastic and the colors of their schools, and I'm going to grind it down right there for them. We're going to let the kids see it, let the adults see it. They can actually find where their art supplies are coming from. They brought it from home, right? The Tide bottle is now going to be part of the leopards, right? So this is going to be incredible what we can just start. And this is just the beginning. Let's put it in the kids' hands and let their minds and their imaginations take it to the next level.
And being a uniting artist, just the art fact, the whole content of it being from waste.
Yeah.
It's not going in a landfill. It's becoming art. And you were talking about absorption. So like if you put that in the fields, all the plants and gardens they're doing, it will help hold the moisture.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
You're helping bring the soil back to life. And so give us the picture when you say the kids are going to throw something away. What's the future? What are we looking to see with Mobi?
That's a great one because the vision changes constantly. When we first started this company, it was a mom and pop and I was going to hand it down to my son and we were going to do all these things. And now the vision of it is exponential. It's much bigger. And when I say that, let's take food waste. So we actually have a friend in the UK who has already proven concept and moving forward at building plants around the world where he has a proven system of taking the food waste and creating methanol and jet fuel. And he can create the energy from organics to run small universities, small colleges, casinos. He could run a whole casino off of their waste, off their food waste.
Why haven't we been doing that? Why haven't we been doing this?
It's out of the box thinking. Yeah. And now we're getting into the technology and the innovation where we have the skills to do this. There's some other crazy things that I can't mention right now, but I have some companies and universities that are just flocking to us. And I read an article the other day. This is the future. There's a university that has found a natural growing bacteria on plastic when it starts to break down. And bacteria breaks the plastic down into almost a nutrient and they're making it into MREs. And when the military goes out, they can take this MRE with them and it gives them nutrition for at least 2 more days so that they can survive if they need 2 more days to survive. Now I looked at it and I read it and I'm like, eating plastic, like we're already doing that.
Right.
Like, do you know how
microplastics?
Do you know how the nanos and the microplastic, do you know how much we consume in plastic a week?
A week? No, I'm afraid to hear the answer.
Like 5 grams. You know what 5 grams is?
Yeah.
It's a credit card. Every time you look at your credit card, that's how much plastic you're consuming.
Wow.
It's crazy. So the Great Pacific Garbage Patch out in the Pacific Ocean.
Yeah.
Now we're sitting here in Texas on a, bright, what is this, Wednesday morning? Early. We've been up since 3 this morning. But Texas is the largest state in the United States. The garbage patch is twice the size of Texas and growing. And they only found it back in 1986. So what we can do with that is incredible. We can take the plastic ships go out, right? They got the crane, they pick it up, they put it on the boat, they come back in. Well, if you had our device on the boat and now when the crane drops it drops it into our device and we reduce the volume of it, now you can stay out longer. You can pick up more trash and you're using less fuel because you don't have to make so many trips in and out. So in the same amount of time, you can pick up twice as much.
I can't wait till 10 years from now.
Yeah.
And we will all say, how did we survive without Mobi Waste?
Oh, you're sweet.
No, I mean, I love the ocean. And that's one of the first things when we were in line at the blocks talking. I'm like, can you clean our oceans up? And she explained it. And we were talking yesterday. I'm like, can you call it Moby Dick? Please. I can see the big mouth on the machine and it's going to, go and consume this and digest it and just make new, fairy farts. It's going to be amazing.
Well poop.
Yeah.
How much well poop did you bring in today?
But I can see this like being a vacation destination that colleges are going to take a semester at sea and go help with this. I see it as a new,
we have some crazy ideas when that comes in. I'm not going to divulge all that.
Yeah.
But we're going to do some things with colleges and we're going to have big competitions for juniors and seniors and just some crazy things. Kind of, we're starting with the Mobi Club, right? And so we have ideas once we get it down and we have a flow and it works. We can take several schools and have little Mobi challenges. And so we take these kids who say, I think we can take plastic and do this with it. Okay, go do it. And then bring it to the challenge and let's see who wins the school sustainability title for the year, right?
Yeah.
So it's unimaginable. I mean, it's the things that we can do. We're only limited by our imagination, which is why we got to give it to the kids.
Yes.
Because they have way bigger imaginations than we do as adults.
Yeah.
Right. And so this is just the tipping of the iceberg on what we're going to do. But if we can create a circular economy and we can take our trash and figure out how to use each and every bit of it, not leave one piece behind, and repurpose it, reuse, and what we call reimagine, then why aren't we doing that? Why aren't we saving resources?
It's just sitting there waiting.
It is.
It's them just waiting for you. You're like the catapult of, you're the battery that just lights up everybody else's imagination. You know, it's almost like you're giving us permission to think about what it can also be. Like you said, giving it to the kids, the ocean, the college kids, and all these creative minds. That's what I love about the word artist. The children are the creators, and then they get shut down.
Yes.
And it's like their little top of their heads where the creativity has been removed. And just even this, it's like giving them permission to keep going.
This is a 40, 50-year-old women sitting around going, ooh, what can we create? We feel like little kids again. Imagine if you gave it to a little kid and said, what can you create? You know, it's absolutely incredible. And that's what's so great about this is we're putting it in their hands. We'll supply, we'll give you everything you need. Just go play and have fun.
Yeah.
And let's think of new ideas and new ways to do it. And, you know, it excites me. It gets me up every morning.
In the middle of the night.
And
at 3 a.m.
3 a.m. And I can't tell you, so the really great thing about this journey that I've been on is I've been able to bring in one of my oldest longtime friends, and Dawn is kind of like my right hand. We can finish each other's sentences half the time. We have a spark of an idea, and by the time we're done, it's a hot air balloon. So it's an inflated balloon when it starts, and it's a hot air balloon when we finish, you know, talking through it. But we've been friends since we were 4 and 5 years old. We were neighbors. We grew up together, and to be able to walk this journey with her, to be able to walk this journey with my son, and all the incredible people. Oh my God, the people. I am so blessed to sit at the table and just listen to some of the people. I'm like, wow, who am I? Who gets to sit here with all these incredible, intelligent, out of the box thinkers that when you just give them an idea and say, this is where I see us going. And then you see all the light bulbs and the wheels and everything spinning in their head and the stuff that comes out of their mouth. You just sit back and you go, wow.
Yeah.
You can't be more blessed.
Well, and everybody's journey is an asset. We were talking about how we could collaborate, and we have some ideas we want to collaborate on eventually, but every type of person, every industry, everywhere in the world, if somebody said, here, what would you do with this? We don't know, but it's going to be great. And you're just the one that you've been willing to take this on and lead it. And that's so impressive. And thank you for it. When I met him, I'm like, you're going to save the world, girl. Oh my God. Can I touch you? Let's do this, you know? And I feel like I keep saying this. I feel like I'm in the bleachers watching and just spending 24 hours with you, seeing the calls and the emails and the support. Everybody's written you on. And she's like, I didn't ask for this. They're just coming.
Yeah. It's really crazy. It's like, Field of Dreams. If you build it, they will come.
Yeah.
And, I was telling Dawn, I said, so 4 times this month I've had, if you build it, they will come. I said, you know, the actor died. Earl Thomas Jones, is that his name? The one who played in Field of Dreams, Darth Vader's dad.
Oh, I don't know. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I see his face.
Yeah. So he passed away, right? And so everything on Facebook was about him. And if you build it, they will come. And I'm reading through it. And then I'm reading something on another article. And it's like, if you will build it, they will come. And then a few weeks, and then I turn the TV on and Field of Dreams is on. And it's right at the part where, you know, he
affirmation.
Yeah. Where he says, if you build it, and I'm like, I get it. Okay.
I heard it. I heard you.
I've been at this for 18 months with my business partner, you know. And what's so great is when she came to me and said, we're going to clean up the oceans, right? And I'm sitting here thinking, I don't know anybody in city government. I don't know anybody in the maritime industry. I don't know anybody there. That's not where I can start. That's not where I can just be a bulldozer. And I was sitting on the back porch one day and all the boys are over and we live out in the country. And so you've got four-wheelers and motorcycles and all these things. And I'm like, what are y'all doing? They're like, well, we're going to take this dirt bike and make it a trike off the back of the, the four-wheeler. We're taking it apart. We're going to use the parts on the dirt bike. And they're just reusing and reimagining and recreating. And they're like, we found this on the side of the road and we traded this guy this off of Facebook and they're wheeling and dealing and they're 14-year-old boys.
Mm-hmm.
So now they're 16, right? And now they're like 16 young men.
Yeah.
Doing the same thing at a higher level. And so I'm sitting there on the back porch and I'm like, how am I going to get this company started? I see the vision. I get the oceans and it needs to clean up. And that's the last stop, right? Everything rolls downhill. And when you look at water, living on the Gulf Coast and hurricanes and floods, everything from up north comes south with the water and it ends up in the ocean. So the ocean is the last stop. Why are we working at the last stop? Why don't we work at the first stop? Right?
The waste.
Let's stop it from getting to the street. Let's stop it from flying out of the back of the trucks. Let's stop it from getting on the truck where the trash man comes, right? Let's stop it before it gets to the ocean because we'll never clean up the ocean if we don't stop it up here, right? And so I'm sitting here thinking, and I call my business partner and I'm like, where are we going to start? She's like, well, schools? I'm like, okay, let me see what we could do with that. So we get into schools. As a mom, it's easy for me to walk in and start talking to principals. Next thing I know, I'm talking to superintendents. The next thing I know, I'm telling them, because one of the biggest questions we get is, what are you going to do? Yeah. It's great. You can reduce and save me money, but if it's not going to landfill, how are you helping?
What's still waste? Yeah.
And I'm like, you're right. What are we going to do with this? So that's when it hit me that we have to separate it and repurpose and reimagine it and create a circular economy. And then it hit me, a wasteless school system that funds itself. Because when we look at the high schools, we can take the CTE departments that have design and all the STEM classes, engineering and everything, right? So we hit the STEM, which we like to call now STEAM, because we want to add the arts in there,
yes.
Right? So you take all those classes, they already have business classes. Quit being theoretical and teaching them how a company ran and what a CEO did to make the company successful or not. Give them the skills by teaching them and letting them learn. Let's create a school system in their CTE department where those business classes run that business. They can create budgets. They can go to the web design and interior design and all these other things and say, okay, we need to create this for our website. And then you go to the welding shop and you go to wood shop and you go to, the engineering, your 3D printing. Let's create this. And now let's sell it. Let's sell it online. Let's teach them e-commerce. Let's teach them how to be entrepreneurs. Let's teach them how to find that grit in themselves and go for it.
Like everybody has an entrepreneur within their spirit and having somebody help walk them through how to do that.
Yeah.
Because all our friends, we're always coming up with ideas. Oh my gosh, wouldn't this be great? I just thought of this as you were saying, with the schools. One of the biggest waste I understand is clothing.
Yes.
How do you do that? How do you get into that?
That's not something that is right now. It will be down the road,
but
just like paper.
Mm-hmm.
But we can actually take the plastic out of clothing and you can repurpose that.
Yeah.
So now you have the cotton you can go do something else with. And you have the plastic. Same with tires, right?
Mm-hmm.
You can extract the steel in the tires, melt that down. Now you have a recycled steel that you could sell. And then you could melt the tires, reclaim the rubber. There's all kinds of things we can do. We just have to have the right people in the right place who know how to do that. And that's one of the things we'll be doing. We have companies that are out of the box universities
mm-hmm.
that are exploring all these options or they're proving concepts on all these options. And they're like, we need you in the beginning. We need you at the start of our production line. And then, you've got a company like with food waste or plastic. If you have a company that's repurposing plastic and melting it down to make new products, that plastic is their feedstock. That's the number one catalyst that makes their business run. Where are they going to get this plastic? I can have my clients grind it down for you. We can go pick it up, or you can get it from us, however we work distribution, but you can now I can give them a feedstock to run their company. It's incredible when you think about how we can create this circular economy by taking what we're already using and repurposing, reusing, and reimagining the possibilities.
We can build homes with this. We can make blocks. We can make structures. We can make foundations, right?
Yeah. All that's being done. You've already got 3D printing homes in Austin, Texas. 3D printing homes. I've got a school district 20 minutes down the road. My wife used to teach at the school district. They are taking water bottles. They have a little bitty grinder to do this right here. So they're grinding it down real small like this. They have figured out how to take this plastic and put it in their 3D printer as filament. So they're melting it into filament, and they're 3D printing anything for the district out of recycled water bottles. Now here's the incredible part. They 3D printed rocket fuel and launched a rocket. What? Off of water bottles. Yeah. You can Google it.
So our Amethyst is going to become our savior. All these water bottles that are hurting our oceans, polluting our oceans, can now be part of our structure.
Absolutely.
It will fuel and heat our homes.
Yeah.
It's going to create art. I feel art is so important. And like you said, once we open our minds, now that we know there's something that, it's just like someone says, here, take this. What are you going to do with it? A creative mind will come up with a dozen different ways to use whatever product that is. And starting so young while the children still have that permission within themselves to be creative and design things that they haven't been told, oh no, that can't be done. Like we all do when we're adults.
So, you know how when you're scrolling through Facebook and you get all the TikTok stuff comes up, and I don't know about y'all, but sometimes I get lost in some of these little videos. There was a video that popped up. There is a city in another country where everything in every piece of trash is recycled, repurposed, and reused.
You're kidding.
No, the system they have, it is circular and everything has a purpose and everything gets reused, and what doesn't gets incinerated. And then from that, it's just dust. You can go take that and put it in your potting plant, or, you can put it back to the earth because it just becomes dust again.
I could see as little as 10 years that it's illegal to do what we do now with trash.
Oh,
we have to do something like this.
Yeah. Change is coming. Change is coming. And it's going to, anytime you have change, you're going to have resistance.
Yeah.
And that's fine. That's okay. It's tough. Change is hard on me. I get it. But when you see what we're going to do and the possibilities and the lives that we're going to change and the job creation we're going to make, it's
a sustainability from top to bottom.
It is. And every decision that we make as a company, we have to look at certain criteria. And this is kind of what we're starting to live by. It's called ASII or ASI, or however you want to do the acronym. As long as you know the words, I don't care. But adaptability. Is it adaptable? Is it something that we can change to make better? Sustainable. Is it something that's going to create and move us forward? And then you have innovative. So innovation. Are we using technology and innovation to move ASI forward? And then inclusion. We're not going to leave one piece of trash out. Why are we going to leave anybody else out?
Right.
All the trash is going to be inclusive, right? And all the people have to be inclusive because we all have to work together. So it doesn't matter who you are, what you are, whatever. If you can come to the table and you're inclusive and innovative and you can look at it for sustainable and adaptable,
let's go.
Then we're going to create something incredible, right? That's the mindset you have to come to the table with.
I love it. So let's just give everybody permission to think about what we're going to do with, what do you call this? The breakdown. What do you call the particles? What do you call that?
I have no idea.
See, we don't know. Oh gosh, that should be called something.
I mean, maybe y'all can reply and give us some comments.
Yeah.
We can say, this is the blah, blah, blah when it's done. We've never said that you got me. It's just the ground up pieces.
Yeah.
It's breaking it into.
But you're going to have all these different types of pieces. So
right.
To label it or, give it A, B, C, or D.
Right.
And with D, we can do A through Z.
Right. We just break it into plastics, paper, and organics is how, we've already broken it.
Can all of them create a gas or an energy? Each one of those, or only certain?
No, certain ones, because you have to have the energy to melt it if you're going to bring the gases. I worked in a plastic plant for a few years and saw how we made plastic. And so all the different gases, the ethylene and the benzene, everything that goes into it, to get that out of it, you have to heat it up. And then you have to have somebody who can figure out how to do something with it. And there's some universities that I've seen that are doing some really crazy things with all of this. So it may sound like I'm talking extremely futuristic, but I'm not.
I know.
There are people, like our friend in the UK and what he's doing with food. I mean, it's incredible. Can you imagine breaking it down to sugar? What is sugar in? That's 1,000 different industries if you break it down to sugar. I mean, it's limitless. This is limitless.
Yeah. Again, I think we're going to see a world where people, when we're long gone, even like, did you know they used to put trash in bags and pile it high in those huge containers?
Well, it's like when we started having conversations, I didn't know you could recycle hair. I learned a ton of stuff from you about hair absorption and things that I would not have ever thought of because I'm not a hairdresser. I'm not a makeup artist like you are, and so it's collaboration. Who would have thought your industry of hair and makeup would work with something we're doing to be able to recycle what falls on the floor?
I know. Our beauty industry is very wasteful, and we need to change that as well. We need to start reusing, repurposing, and we've talked about how we can collaborate with the beautiful pieces that are coming. See, I don't know what to call those pieces. They're pieces of beauty and recyclable and energy and compost. And yeah, it's a multifaceted waste product.
Yeah.
It is.
And we did beta testing at Texas A&M. Our first 2 devices, we beta tested at Texas A&M, and sitting in a meeting with some of their higher levels when we were first pitching all of this to beta test, you could see the light bulbs and the wheels going, oh my God, what could we do in research? How could we take this to research? And yeah, it's great if we put the kids' imaginations, but when you actually have the financial resources, the education, and you have someone like Texas A&M or, any of these other incredible universities around the world say, wait a minute, let's rethink, you're onto something. Mm-hmm. Or that's the missing piece that we've been looking for and what we're already doing. We just become a catalyst.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah. I see that's becoming a house.
Yep.
It's going to be the foundation. It's going to be insulation.
Yeah.
It's everything that we're making other stuff out of.
So I have one of our strategic partners is a big, recycling company here in Houston. They're 30 years in the industry. And I'm talking to them one day. We're standing out in the parking lot and we're talking, and they're looking at all of this and they're like, styrofoam. We have like 10 trucks of styrofoam that go to the dump, and it's clean styrofoam. Yeah. Which means it hasn't been contaminated by anything. Right. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, well, let's talk about that. They're like, we could grind that down, and now we only have 2 trucks. And I'm like, okay, but let's take it even farther. And they look at me and they're like, what do you mean take it farther? I said, what if you ground all that down and now you have all this ground up little pieces of styrofoam? How about we give it to a school district and let the kids in home ec make bean bags and pillows and, hacky sacks. And again, I'm just speaking from things from my generation that I grew up on that had, styrofoam particles in it. Let's create, the bears, the Build-A-Bears.
Out of that.
It's styrofoam. Let's fill that, let's create something else instead of putting it in a landfill.
Yeah.
And I said, not only that, but as a business, you're donating to a school. So now you have a tax write-off. So instead of paying dump fees and your trucks in the garbage, now you're getting a tax write-off. I said, possibilities. Nothing's impossible. We can do it. We just have to figure out how to move the mountain to make it happen.
Is there a size that this gets broken down to, or on what level do plastics, metals, styrofoam boxes, everything?
No,
does it all come to the same size?
So in the devices we have right now, yes, it's about 6 millimeters because of the screen that we have in there. On other devices, we won't have a screen, and so it'll just get broken down. You can see in here there are some bigger pieces that didn't get ground all the way. So it's not consistent. But if you're going to melt it, it really doesn't have to be, right?
Mm-hmm. This looks like the beautiful, like the glass pieces when you get the gas fireplaces. Yeah. And put something beautiful in like that. I can just see that on lit up. Yeah. Be very pretty.
And so you can see how it takes paper, it takes plastic. The orange pieces in there is the cap off of a Gatorade. And then what we've done with medicine bottles is if you take the tops, we created just little keychains, right? And so we gave us one of our schools that we're working with have little keychains. And so we made keychains for all the principals and the CFO and the head of maintenance and all that. So we had all these little keychains made for them and said, hey, this is where we're going. This is what we're doing, and gave them this kind of stuff. So they absolutely love it, right?
Yeah.
Schools love this kind of stuff. We go to some shows just to kind of show people, get our name out there. And so we have, jewelry that we've made up out of plastic.
I love that.
And we would have people come by and ask to buy it. And we're like,
yeah, I'm like, oh, I think she keeps saying every time she shows something, like that they really want one of them. I'm like, I really like this one.
I used to have earrings and a whole bunch of other kinds of stuff in here, but it's like I end up giving it to people when I sit in the meeting with them at the school, and they're like, can I have that? And I'm like, if that really makes you happy.
And yes. What a way to advertise and talk about it. That somebody compliments you on your jewelry. You're like, did you know this was trash?
Yeah, it's like these little rings. Oh my God, the kids love these little rings. They would come by our booth and just start trying on all this stuff. Like, this used to be full. I have to replenish. I have to make some stuff.
And this is another revenue for the school.
It is.
And the kids. And teaching them about budgeting and what it costs to create something.
This could be a whole nother revenue for me if I wanted to buy more molds and go to, farmers markets and sell bracelets and a whole sets of jewelry. People love this stuff.
Yeah. Well, I always feel better when I find out and I love vintage clothing. So in a way, I feel like I'm helping out the landfills that way. But having to know that what your purchase is doing is helping not fill up our oceans, not the landfills. And it's
something to talk about. Mm-hmm. Did you know my necklace and earrings and bracelets and rings it's all trash? I'm just a trashy woman.
Absolutely.
I talk trash all the time.
Yeah. It's cool. It's cool to be trashy.
It is cool to be Ooh. It is cool to be trashy.
I like that.
That may have to go on our website.
Yeah.
We're revamping the website right now. Because the saying, I'm supposed to have a funny saying for me on the website. So I'm like, impossible? Watch me or buy me a pizza. I may have to have trashy is cool.
I think it should be every day. People should be sending you new tags, and then you can.
Y'all tag me with them. Although I just had this whole Lainey Wilson, country is cool again, trashy is cool again, but we can't play off her. But she just popped up.
Why not? She may want to give you the song. Go clean up the world with this song.
Lainey, we can collaborate.
Please do. Yeah. Give her the rights, and it'll go to the children that are helping create
donation
art. Yeah.
It can all be donated to schools to help them. Absolutely.
I could talk all day. I could talk trash with you all day.
We do sometimes.
Yes, we are trashy girls. So it's a movement. It's an entrepreneurial mission for her. And I just say thank you for taking this position, because when you're starting something new or you're disrupting something, you can feel vulnerable, scary. You don't know what you don't know. And I just feel like angels have been flocking to you going, we support you. We want you to have this information. We want you to have this money. And we've got some that's going to help you in that connection. I saw it yesterday, y'all.
My emails phone blows up
all day long, and she's not asking for help. People are flocking to her going, how can we help?
Yeah.
And I think we can help you by doing this, this, and that, and meet this person and come to meet I haven't seen anything like this at all. And all the reality shows, all the movies people have dreamt of. This is going to be a great, great story to tell and to make a movie about.
Well, I'm glad you're along on the ride with this in the beginning.
Yeah. I am so thankful you walked up to me in that food line and we got to chat. She hadn't been able to tell much about her story, so she's just chomping at the bit, ready to tell what she's doing. And I think that just the floodgates opened.
Yeah. And then it was everybody, it was like being the cool kid. Everybody wanted to sit with you.
Really? Yeah.
There were times when we were at lunch where I couldn't eat because there were so many people that wanted to
hear about
it. And it was when we were at the blocks, at first I went in, well, I'm going to win this. I've got this incredible thing. I'm going to win this. But when you get there, it's not really about your story. It is about how you build the business. Mm-hmm. And so when I got there and I'm like, I want to tell my story.
Yeah.
And then when I finally got to tell it, it was like, holy crap. All these people just come And they were like, tell me your story. Tell me your story. When you go public, I'm buying stock when you go public, you know, and it's like, okay, I haven't launched yet. Keep manifesting that, please, because I would love to go public. But, you know, we haven't launched yet. We're working the kinks out in the big unit with the engineering firm. And, you know, 2025 is just going to be a game changing year for all of us because that's when we're launching. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, man. Thank you, lady.
Oh,
I just love that I keep saying you've been chosen. And, you know, we all might be on a pedestal or a path that, you know, we've got our soapbox to talk about things. But this girl has no ego.
no eagles on the property.
No. But she is taking this mission seriously. And I love that all the people that are supporting her, all the imaginations that are wondering what we can do to support and create less. It's just going to be, it's a revelation. Revolution? Yep. Revolution. It's a revolution.
I'll let you pick the word.
Yeah, we need a song.
I'm just along
she needs a song. Let's put it out there. What was the song you played this morning?
Cody Johnson, Doubt Me Now. That's kind of my theme song right now.
Yeah. And I think we need that anthem in our lives. So thank you again. And
well, thanks for having me on.
I'm just going to perch on the sidelines, go, yeah.
You know, the biggest thing is thanks for flying to Houston and coming doing this with me and hanging out.
I invited myself. She's like, going to be on my podcast. I could be there tomorrow.
We haven't shot my podcast. We're shooting yours. I love it.
Well, now we're going to get to hers, y'all. So, follow Mobi Waste Inc. on her social and check her out and just cheer her on and help her on her journey with good vibrations and send all that love. Hey, y'all, join us next week as we highlight another uniting artist.
And remember, when artists support artists, everyone prospers.